I just want to be one of those people that when I get depressed, I stop eating. I'm one of those people I get depressed,
Who
I like
does
keep
that?
eating. That's what I'm
What are
saying. People's
these
like,
people?
oh, I got
What
depressed
are,
and I lost 40 pounds. It's like, oh
no one
man, what?
says that. Who says
Yeah, I
that?
had a friend who got divorced and like said like after their divorce they didn't eat for like 3 weeks and they'd eat like and I was like, what? I want that kind of depression.
That's not real. That's
That
not
is
real.
real.
You dreamt that. No one's ever done that. Like,
Mine is like, oh, I'm depressed. I wonder if eating an entire bag of fun-sized Reese's peanut butter cups will help me through
that's
this.
what
Yeah, that's
happens.
real.
That's people. That's people.
Ladies, gentlemen, and friends beyond the binary, welcome to Girl Dick with Ted Cruz, starring Lilith Electra Zarling, Amanda Bonanza, and esteemed Republican Senator from the great state of Texas, your host, Ted Theodore Cruz.
And then in our den, we had like this really old sofa, so we got rid of it. So there's no seating in there. And I set up my Wii. And so now every morning I do some Wii boxing and stuff just
Oh
to
yeah.
get some energy because I do not work out at all and it shows. And
I know. I don't either. I'm so. I'm a
but I
big-
am 3-0 in Wii boxing currently.
Well, that's
So
good.
yeah.
That's great news. I need to do yoga or something. I for a minute I started doing like stomach exercise to get rid of my fat belly.
Yeah.
And I did it for about 3 weeks and then I was like, God, I fucking hate this so much. And I just skipped one day because I was like, I fucking can't. I hate this.
And that's the thing is you skip one
And it
day,
was
it's all
working.
done.
And that was it. Yeah, that was one day turned into I haven't done it since. And I can't because I hate it so fucking much. It's just so much dread goes into starting that. And it's like I have to reserve. I'm just gonna be. It's like I got like 6 months of being kind of semi attractive, and then it's
Stop.
like
You're hot as fuck.
well,
Shut up.
it's a lot of moving magic. I see the pictures that like my roommate took that I'm using, and it's not. I don't look good in them at all. And she took really good pictures. She's a
Yeah.
really good photographer. It's just and I've never been photogenic. And so it's like I look good on video because I know I can adjust shit in real time. It's like I know what I'm doing, but I don't look
I
good in
just
still
stand
photos
here
at
and like,
all.
there we go. Yeah, just hide that. Look at me.
I know it's not fair. I shouldn't complain, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
It's like oh.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it also comes back to I always joke that I lived the first 47 years of my life pretty miserable and didn't do anything, and every year since then, like since I came out and then started my transition, I've been trying to do like new stuff and like push myself. The pandemic, like I don't think my trajectory was the same. It killed all the momentum. But
yeah,
also,
and it fucked me up psychologically too. I know it does.
But I also want to live. I also like if I get 47 years as Lilith, I'll be super happy. But part of that is going to be like taking a little better care of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so get on it.
I have to do that too. It's like I'm trying to at the very least, do the Japanese philosophy of eating, which is eat until you're 80% full.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just stop overeating. If I just did that, I'd be probably fine.
That's tough.
It's fucking impossible.
I had this whole thing because when I was a kid, and I always talk about this, is it was 4 kids, my mom and dad. And then we were broke as fuck, and you were just you just ate when there was food, and it was just that's hard to break.
It really is. The other thing is it's I'm sure it was your parents too, but finish everything on your plate. It's beat that into, sometimes quite literally beat that into you.
Yeah.
And then it was just so you get into that mindset, and that's another hard one to break. It's like I know mentally, cognitively that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can leave a piece, some uneaten spaghetti, and there's no, in fact, it's better than me eating it.
Yeah.
Throwing it away is better than eating it. Like
Yeah.
at that point, like when you're full, like, and it's just like, but like because of that, like kind of like conditioning, it's just so hard to get over.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I would say like I've got this laundry list of things. It's like, here are things I do either because of that or that I just didn't care about myself before my transition. It's just like never heating. No, it doesn't matter what the leftovers are. I almost never heat them up. It's just like spaghetti, I eat it cold. Pizza, I eat it cold. Yeah.
Pizza's
Pizza's cold's good, yeah. But
I mean, that's that old.
But honestly, like if you reheat pizza, like you get like the cheese a little darker, get a little crispier.
Yeah, cheese. I mean, it's like it depends how you reheat pizza. Like,
which is like all these things that like I'd never really treated myself nice and like
because nothing mattered because it didn't matter. Well, because if you couldn't feel pleasure, like it's like you had that threshold that was just there where like it's just nothing's ever gonna get better than this like absolute barrier, this just limit that like you that cannot be exceeded. And like the best it ever got was like not shitty. And like
hey, this isn't too shitty.
Yeah, this is I am not completely miserable right now. This is the best day of my life. Like, it's like, and that's like how it was. Like, but yeah, after a lifetime of like that, developing those habits, because like, what incentive do you have?
Yeah. I never cared about like my body or anything.
Because you didn't. Like me.
Yeah. This thing?
Yeah, this thing that I'm really not into. Like,
this thing sucks.
Yeah, it sucks and it's uncomfortable and I'm unhappy. Yeah.
And now it's like, well, shit, it is actually a pretty cool body right now.
Yeah, now it's great. It's like, oh, fuck, why do I have this?
Fuck, I better take care of this thing. Welcome to GD with TC. That's Girl Dick with Ted Cruz. I'm Lil Zarling. That's Amanda Bonanza. Ted Cruz is not officially associated with this podcast. We just hate him so much that we wanted to put his name in our podcast. Yeah,
we wanted him to forever be affiliated with Girl Dick.
And I wanna reel that back. I don't hate Ted Cruz. I don't hate anyone. I don't want to put that. That's not. You can hate. I'm not putting that on the world. I really just wish that Ted would be more open to the freedom that he talks about for everyone in this country, as opposed to just people who think that one day they're going to go to heaven by just disappearing from the face of the planet. But whatevs. Thank you for joining us, beautiful babies. It's so great to be here with you. Amanda, how's that coffee going? Is it treating you right?
It's giving me the. You have your Troomy focus. I've got my coffee focus. I'm in the classic. I'm using the classic drug.
Oh yeah. No, you're doing old school. I'm over here doing like
you're
Eastern medicine.
You're cutting edge.
Mushrooms and gummy. I'm finding
super Eastern is
super Eastern. Everyone knows that in ancient China and
Haribo.
Yeah, they'd be like using gummies for things that we just take for granted now. An aspirin.
Invent the gummy. I feel like that could very well be a Japanese invention.
Maybe it could also be something.
Doesn't it?
Could also been something Joe Rogan invented for Fear Factor back in the 90s. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Fear Factor Joe Rogan really does look like a soy boy. He's got this short haircut. It's starting to go a little thin at the top, and he clearly has never worked out in his life. It's very bizarre to see him and realize that this is the maniac that we have before us today.
I never watched Fear Factor.
I just saw a clip of it on something. Oh, it's incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
But it's just like, hey man, if you can talk someone eating a rotten fish for $100,000, I'll believe whatever you have to say about COVID for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Like I never understood. It just looked like it was like the television equivalent of like a can of like Mountain Dew Code Red. Like,
first of all, who's drinking cans of Mountain Dew? You drink that in a 16-ounce bottle. I mean, there's your first problem. I don't even think Code Red comes in a can.
I don't know anything about it.
Code Red, one, it's as real as the streets, which I think is really all I should have to say. Yes, Mountain Dew Code Red is as real as the streets. All
Is
right.
that like a tagline they had, or are you just saying that?
No, that's their tagline. I could never be as smart as the people who do advertising for Mountain Dew. I mean, come on.
Or any advertise. Okay. Oh my God. I watched. This was years ago. I was in Seattle, and like I was like, I think I was on my way to work. I was trying to listen. I stress trying to listen to this like NPR, like This American Life episode or something like that, and like it was like they were talking about like the ad, like some ad. They were giving some ad guy a lifetime achievement award because he like wrote like the most the most like successful ads of anybody, and like his claim to fame, like his number one ad was like the Timex watch, which is like it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Like it's like that's what he came up with, and like, but like here's the thing: is they were all like they it was the most literally the most combination of boring and asinine, like because like they're ad guys, so like they're the worst people in the world,
right?
And they're just like so full of themselves, and like it's like, yeah, he's a genius. It was like takes a licking, keep on ticking, genius. Like it's just like it's like they come up with these like bad catchphrases, and they think they think they wrote King Lear, and it's just like what are you doing? It's just like, but I mean, here's the thing: here's the weird one for me is like because there is something to that, because like I mean I haven't seen it in a while, but for a long time, and I'm sure it's still out there in the wild to some degree, but variations of the Got Milk ad from like the early 90s. And like it was the ad came out in like 93, 94, and all it was Got Milk, question mark. But then but that ad campaign, like because those two words like somehow were like everyone thought they were the best thing since.
No, that's because you weren't in the meeting. You weren't in the pitch meeting where the guy gave like an hour-long thing about connecting with America and how milk is simple and pure and reminds us of our roots. Got milk? And it resonates with people because they want to recapture that. They want to be in that farmhouse just after the Depression as America is becoming strong again and becoming a leader. Got milk?
What is that?
And then the milk people are like, that's amazing. Oh my God, yes. Milk is America.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's how it went. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't in the board meeting, but
that's why it is. That's why it seems so simple to us.
But I mean, but what I can say is it did residual, because like 20 years later, like there were people running around with got whatever, like T-shirts and bumper stickers. I remember because got flavored blowjob. I was driving up from California.
That was a good one. Damn it.
What?
Got flavored blowjob lubricant.
Very good.
Yeah, it like numbs the back of your throat and tastes like blueberries. It's like, oh, that's just like that Got Milk ad. It's like, yeah, but do you got flavored blowjob lube? This is brilliant. That's brilliant. Hey, you're the Got flavored blowjob lube, aren't you? Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Blowjob lube.
Yeah, that's me. I came up with that one. Yeah. That was me.
Well, but here's the thing is like, so I was driving back from like San Francisco, and I was driving up, and I it's a long drive, but it's doable in one day if you really fucking bomb. And I was doing it. I was bombing, and I was at the last leg, and the last leg is like Portland. So like you get to Portland, like, because there's nothing really between San Francisco and Portland, like, and so you get to Portland, but Portland's just close enough to where I live where you think you're on the home stretch. But you still got like 2.5 hours.
But you're not.
You're not. It's so far. And like, but you're it's like, oh, Portland, I'm here. It's like, you're not here. You still got to go through Portland and then through Washington. But like, but you get there and like, it's like, okay, it's the first like big city since San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then you're in, but I was in Portland, and like, I was riding, and there was like, I saw a car that had 2 bumper stickers. One,
got Jesus.
Keep Portland weird.
Of course, yeah.
2, Got Tori Amos.
See, Tori Amos resonates with America on a level.
This is like 2015.
Who knows? No, they got the ones that are like got Jesus, and it's like, I guess. I mean,
Like, and it's just mind blowing that like that phrase like was as like that good that it lasted as long as it did.
well, I think
Like,
it's so weird. America's the two things America does
two
great
words.
is like innovation and then just copying
Being
everyone else,
completely-
and then completely copying everyone else. It's like if something is going to be a completely innovative take on something that no one's ever thought of, it probably came from America. If it's going to be a complete ripoff of something someone else done, also probably going to be from America.
I don't think that's fair, that first part. Like it's like I think plenty of cultures around the world have innovated things throughout time. Like I feel like China's innovated quite a few things. Like
Oh, I mean, yeah, if we're gonna, I
gunpowder
mean,
and silk.
yeah, I mean, if you want to, I mean, but they also had how many years head start? You know, America's only been here 200 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And we've won 2 world wars, so
Single-handedly.
mic drop. But yeah, no, advertising dudes are the worst. They're just like, oh, we got this garbage that no one would ever want, and they're like, okay, let's just say it's as real as the streets, and now it appeals to people at that level where they want to be real, and they want to be as real as the streets, and now they're gonna drink your weird red sugar water. Yeah, let's go to some questions.
Yeah, let's do a show.
Yeah.
I think you did an intro.
I did do an intro. I did an intro.
I knew that's because of the Troomies. I can't remember. I don't.
It's the Troomies. I'm focused. I am on a straight line.
Yeah,
I'm on a straight line through this to the end.
Arrow. That's us.
Yeah, I am.
Straight as arrows, us too.
I am high on lion's mane, and I'm as real as the streets, baby. And yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. Da 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 da. Question: Have we ever done the name thing? Have we talked about names? Because it's a question I see a lot. It's always like, where'd you come up with your name? How'd you come up with your name? And I think.
No, I don't think we did it.
Or then we should. Yeah. Kind of want to have a middle name, but not sure. Did you all keep and change yours? I do. But we're gonna throw this out to talking just about how we picked our names and things like that. If that's all right with you.
I don't think the Troomies are working because I didn't understand a fucking word you said.
Maybe I'm super focused. This person's asking, I read their question. This person's asking about middle names.
This is a fucking laser.
Yeah. This person's question is that they kind of, I mean, and this is partially their fault because the first word of their question is kinda, which is not
That's not
how you start a question.
I'm not here to be the grammar police for trans Reddit.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, we're not here to break down, but
don't start a sentence with
kinda.
Well, I mean, I'm trying now. I'm taking that as a challenge. Like, I think I can start a sentence like, "Kinda, do you think you want to do something?" Like, I can.
You sound like an old person from Milwaukee. You just need to throw an Ana at the end there. Hey, kinda want to go down to Sally's for a butter burger, Ana? And it's like, what? Like, I know that's English, and I understood most of it. Sally's Butterburger, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a thing anywhere, it's Milwaukee.
Oh, it is a thing, yeah. No, it's a thing.
I've never heard of a Butterburger.
Really? I've never had one.
I heard it's a burger cooked in butter?
It's a burger topped with butter. Yeah, you cook your burger, and then like while it's finishing up, you slap like a tablespoon of butter on it, you let it melt, and then you...
I mean, I know that's delicious.
I am trying to stay focused. You're taking me off focus right now.
But I mean, I just kind of like, I think I was talking about feeling a little not fit.
Yeah.
Earlier, and the idea of a burger slathered in butter is just like, oh, I guess that's one way to live your life.
I mean, my focus is telling me to continue this. The other focus, I think maybe this is the thing. It's too easy for me to focus on multiple things. It's like if you take me somewhere else, I'm going to be focused on what you're talking about. So I think my focus is intense,
I
but
can't
it's
tell if you
easily
ate
shifted.
a Troomy or if you just finished like a meditation session with the Dalai Lama.
I mean, this is what I'm saying. This Troomy shit is the bomb. Like, it really brings you insight and focus. Kinda it's kinda wanna, which also aren't words. Kinda
Well,
wanna.
they are now. Yeah, they are. They're I know what they mean. They're words.
I mean, I know what they mean, so I guess technically, yes,
Yeah,
they've communicated.
that's the whole point of words. Like, that's the thing is, like, we don't need to talk about like grammar police shit, but like, it's like I have a friend that's like, it's like insistent upon like, no, like that's the wrong way to say things.
No.
It's like, no, the wrong way to say things is the way that whoever you're trying to communicate to.
There's
understand.
also no wrong way to spell something. If the person reading it understands what you meant, then it's correct. But I'm going to clean this up.
Shit changes all the time, and it has changed all the time. If you ever like listen to like, I mean, just go back and read Herman Melville and like try and follow it.
I'm not going to do that. There's not enough Troomy in the world to get me focused enough to read Herman Melville. Not enough Troomy in the world
to get you through the first 3 chapters of Moby Dick.
Oh, you know, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the beach with my copy of Bartleby the Scrivener and, you know, spend the weekend enjoying that one.
One summer, my friend Jamie and I, like, we never actually did it, but like we were determined to read Principia Mathematica, like from cover to cover, like one summer as our summer reading. For those of you that don't know, that's the book that Sir Isaac Newton wrote that described calculus in novel form.
The Portrait of Calculus as a Young Man. I'm going to just clean this up a little bit. I kind of want to have a middle name, but I'm not sure. Did y'all doesn't have an apostrophe in the Y and the A, and I think that's...
I do it half the time.
Yeah. Did y'all change yours? Any ideas? And what I want to do is like, we can finish reading this and talk about middle names, but I also want to focus on, because I see a lot of other times people are like, how did you choose your names? Like, it's a big thing. Yeah. Like, you're at this point in your life where like, who gets to choose their own name, right? And then
everyone if they want to. It's
everyone if they want to, but we all know trans people are trailblazers. Really, the only ones doing it. Yeah,
it's very much a trans thing, but like it doesn't have to be.
And you want to hit a home run. You want to have that Lilith Electra and be like, fuck yeah, you know. So, this person, they're sorting out their legal name change. They're wondering about
Amanda Bonanza is a solid ground rule double.
It just bounced over the wall.
An E6. I'm on base.
Hey, I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here. So yeah, they don't give their real name, but their full name is basically Starry Ghost. Here's the recommendation of any names that have anything to do with the following. Feel free to give me suggestions. Stars or space in general, ghosts, purple, just the word purple, bunnies, absence of things, void, shadows, wolves, forget-me-nots. This person has got, I think, there's a lot of stuff to go through here, but I think when you're picking your name, for me, here's how mine came about. When I first started, I came out and I would mostly perform. And so I came up with a funny name as a performer, that not necessarily drag, but it was basically Eleanor Gasm.
That's a drag name.
That is completely a drag
name.
It's right up there. Yeah, I'm surprised. I was surprised that there was.
I'm surprised that's not taken.
I'm surprised it wasn't taken. And then because when I first came out, I wasn't going to transition. I wasn't full time. I was just like as a comic performer. Yeah. And so then when I started, I had a friend of mine. Who's a lot younger than me, and just flat out told me like, you're not old enough to be an Eleanor. And I was like, Thank you.
Not olden. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Eleanor's
Like
a
it's an
very
old
old.
lady name.
It's an old lady name, and like you're not an old lady, and so
I mean, sort of like it's just a name. Like every Eleanor that's an old lady was also a little girl once, like and it's like you just like unless they're Benjamin Buttoning it.
they are.
They start out.
They start out old and they die old.
It's just like that Will Ferrell sketch where he just like was born 37.
Anyway, they asked if they could call me Ellie, and I said, yeah, that's cool. And except I'd spelled it L.E. like it was initials, and just called myself Ellie. But then I got to the problem where people, instead of just calling me Ellie, they'd call me L.E. like they were saying the two letters separately. I'd be like, no, it's just Ellie. And they'd be like, okay, L.E. And so it was kind of weird. That's fine. I didn't mind.
No,
and then,
that's like, it's not like I'm not. It's just like, why would you do that? Like, how do you not get that?
Because I also felt like as I was going on my transition, Eleanor and Ellie weren't my names anyway. Like,
right.
I wasn't.
That wasn't focused at you. That was focused on the people that pronounced it that way. That's
L.E.
I'm feeling a powerful cringe.
Like if you see someone's name is J.R. you just call them J.R. So it's like L.E.
You don't say J.R. Hey, J.R.
Hey, J.R.
You don't enunciate the letters.
So anyway, I was just Ellie, and then I do this camp down in Alabama where we do leadership training with kids using improv, and I was like, hey, I'm changing, I'm going as Ellie, and they're like, motherfucker, they go, what does the LE stand for? Because we have like 4 people in our organization or peripheral organization who's Ellie, and I was like, well, fuck, I can just pick my name and just like make it as badass as possible. And so Lilith, obviously, I think most trans Liliths know Lilith was like the first woman in the Bible who was just like, fuck this noise, I'm out of here. Became some sort of sex demon, which, here I am.
Was she from Sodom or Gomorrah?
Nah. There was Sodom and Gomorrah weren't a thing. It was just her and Adam and God, and she was like, y'all, I'm out of this sausage party.
Oh shit, that was early.
Yeah,
shit.
She was the first woman.
Oh shit, I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Where's this shit? I didn't read this.
Oh, it's in the secret text of Judaism.
Oh, it's in the book.
It's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. No. The Bible erased Lilith. Just like
it's the part that the Vatican, that the Council of Nicaea left out.
Nope.
Controversial.
Nope. And then Electra
didn't line Emperor Constantine's pockets.
This Lilith costs us some money. Maybe we can put her back in the Bible, but I'm sorry, not gonna happen. So that's Lilith. And then Electra is from Greek mythology, is daughter of King Agamemnon, who went to fight the Trojan War. His wife killed him when he came back, and then Electra and her brother Orestes killed mom in vengeance. So that's pretty much that. But I feel like where do people get their names? I don't know. Like you're at an age now. It's like pick one that picks your personality. And like I see people all the time who like parents want to pick their name, but they just want to make it like a version of the name they picked when they were born. And it's just like, don't give in to that. Be you. Pick a name that goes with you.
I have a counterpoint to that.
No, that's fine.
That's how I got my name. I let my parents pick.
Okay.
And I did that very much intentionally. And the reason that I did that is because my parents were supportive. Like that was something, but like they were struggling with it. And like it was just they were getting, and this is the early stages, and like it's like they were like struggling with pronouns and like and just like getting in the mindset and like getting over things and I was hypersensitive about it because you are at that 3-4 month stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to like pick names and like I just couldn't because it's just like nothing was feeling right and there's just like so much fucking work and then it's like I felt like at the time that I had
so much fucking work.
Well, it was because it's hard to name things sometimes. Like it's not always. Sometimes it just pops right in and that's fine and that's great. Sometimes you get lightning in a bottle, but like once in a time, a lot of times it's like just nothing seems to work. And that's how it was for me. It's just like everything I picked, it didn't feel right. And like I was trying to, like I didn't want to I see a lot of like, and like arguably me, like my name's Amanda, like, and so like, it's like, that's not exactly like a cutting edge. It's a fairly common name. But at the time, I was like, well, I'm an artist. Like, I can't do a normal name. I can't do a name that anyone else has. So I was trying all this other stuff on, and just none of it worked, and none of it fit, and it was just like, oh, okay, fine. But then, like, because my parents were struggling, and because but they wanted to be better, and it's like, well, here's the thing. It's like that's kind of how names work. Is parents pick them, and like by letting my parents pick the name, it solved it solved several problems, which was A, like I didn't have to do it. Like B, it's like it made them invested in it. So like if they get to pick it, then they participate, and then that makes them closer to it, and then that makes it easier for them to remember, and then it helps them along their acceptance journey.
And that's fine. And if you want to make that choice, that's cool. I think most of the ones I see is like my parents are insisting on this, and it's you make your own choice. Sorry. Like you choose your own badass cool name, and if your parents,
I haven't seen much of that, but I believe you. Like
if you're Chris and you're transitioning to female, and your parents like, we'd like you to still be Chris, and you're just like, nah. You don't have to.
Yeah, and you don't have to do anything. Like that's the thing. It's like it is your name in your life, and even like you don't have to be trans to change your name either. But there is that whole parents to consider. Like, I mean, you have to consider all of it. But like, I mean, I'm not saying that like what I did was like the universal solution. I'm just saying that's what I did.
If it's something for you and you feel like it'll help your parents, embrace that and be more part of it, then that's totally fine. I just feel like, if that's your choice, then you should make that choice.
Right. And that's what I was getting at. It's just like there are lots of options, and there's no wrong way to go about it. Like, and I've heard some wild names, and then I've heard the most mundane, boring names. Like someone changed their name to Jane Smith. It's like all right, like you get to do that if you want, but like, what are you talking about, names?
Yeah, we were talking about names.
Names. Name yourself whatever you want. But I mean that's not helpful, really, because it's like that's where you're at, and like but like I mean.
Well, here's a question. I have a middle name. You don't have a middle name, do you?
Well, I do, but like I'm not going to go into it.
No, you don't have to go into it. But I'm saying that's what this person actually. I would say if you want a middle name, like go for it and make it as crazy as you want, and but that's the thing is you can change all the things. You can have 4 names if you want.
You really can.
You literally could.
Here's the thing that I like to do with like that sort of thing is if you're looking for a middle name that's a little outside of the box.
Yeah.
Think about it like as a whole package. Like it's like, and try and pick something that sounds well and flows off the tongue. Like I mean, I guess the best one I can think of right now is like. It's like I can't even think of his name. The Gordon Levitt guy, the third rock from the sun guy.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like it's not the best example, but it does kind of flow. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like,
how does it sound together?
Yeah, all the whole thing. It's like from start to finish. Does it flow off the tongue? Does it feel free? Does it sound organic? Does it fill that space? Does the way it makes the air move feel good?
Yeah, you could also go like the porn star / roller derby route and just make it like I almost went with Milwaukee.
I like that.
And then there's my roller derby name, Lucille Brawl, which I'm a big fan of. And I'm sure that Lucille Brawl, I think that's out there. And then my nom de plume, Huntress Thompson. I think
Oh, you got me like on lockdown. I'm just drawing blanks here.
I mean, these are all names I've used, so.
But that's the thing is like it really can just be whatever you want. But like I sounds like in this particular like question, it sounds like the question asker is like they're just looking for tips because they're thinking about it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is like, what's your vibe?
Yeah, very much. But I wanted to like just bring a point up to that and speak to that, which is like whatever you do decide. Know that you can change that too. Like you don't have to stick with it. And like that's the thing that I think is really important because I think a lot of like early baby trans like first couple monthers like think like that I have to pick the right thing because I'm stuck with it. It's like no, you're not. You're not. You don't have to stick with anything. Like it is a transition. Like you are gonna change. Like everything changes. Like your body and your mind and your soul all change around, and so things that you thought were good once aren't necessarily going to be where like something that you're really into like 2 months into HRT, that might not be something that still resonates with you when you're 2 years in. Like it's
Right.
and because your mindset changes, your whole worldview changes, and so it's okay to change your name more than once. Like, but you do have to like just be aware that when you do that, like there's work that comes with it.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you're talking about legally changing it,
Yeah.
you will have to,
Which
depending
you
on where you
should
live,
do.
you'll
Which you
have to
should do.
pay for it,
Yeah.
every time you do it. But
I mean,
also,
the money
here's
is
something I
not
found
the
out.
problem, 'cause
Here's
the
what I
money
found
is
out though.
like-
No,
it's not
you're
that
only
much.
allowed 7 Social Security cards in your lifetime. So if like you lose one and order a new one, or you change your name, like you're only allowed to do that 7 times in your life. So if you're changing your name, I would say for middle names,
That's
like
the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And
you
I've
act like
never
you
heard
just got
that.
to this country. This is America. Of course it's stupid. But I would say like for middle names, I don't know if you want to legally go through all the paperwork to change
So
your
what
middle name.
happens? You lose your 7th security card, social
Yeah.
security card. What happens? You don't have a social security number anymore.
And plus, Social Security's not going to be a thing, so who gives a fuck?
Well,
like
still, the keeping track of people will still be a thing.
Oh, the keeping track of people will continue. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about
But like,
that.
what does that mean? So like, if you just lose your 7th social security card, that's too bad for you.
That's like tough
Not
shit.
luck, pal. Get
Tough
the
shit.
fuck out of
Maybe
here.
you get 7 freebies. I don't know, and then you got to start paying for them.
Man, maybe that's it. Because
That's an American thing.
That's very American.
Yeah. Oh, you got to pay for these now.
Oh, that's even reasonable, almost. But yeah,
I would say if you're trying out new middle names, you don't have to necessarily legally change everything for adding a middle name. Like I know this. I've known trans people who never waited to legally change their name until they felt they found the right name.
And that's a fine way
That's
to go.
great too.
But know that I guess I was just saying I changed my name legally, kind of. I don't know. I felt like I waited a long time, but really it was just like 6 months. But it felt like forever.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you do legally change your name, it feels really good. Like and two, like it really eliminates a whole lot of hassle in your life. Like it's gonna severely, like exponentially diminish misgendering. It's really gonna it's gonna get you through the airport. Like it's gonna get you like your medicine. Like it's like when you have a name that's different, because like the process for changing your name on your driver's license and legally in the eyes of the government versus like your bank account, like you don't need any proof. You put whatever name you want on your bank card, and it's and so like you can change your name in some places, but if you don't do it legally, it's going to cause like paperwork problems.
Yeah. It is nice getting all your credit cards with your name on them and your driver's license and your
things
bills.
addressed to you,
Yeah.
but even just that, when your name changes and the judge clacks the gavel, it's kind of magic. And I know it's ritualistic.
Wait, did you go to court for that?
You have to go to. You didn't go to court?
Nah, I had a lawyer who did it for me for free. I just had to pay the fees and got my paperwork.
I had to go to court. Like I went to court, and you had to sit and like spend a day. I had to go go to the courthouse, fill out with the clerk.
Something tells me it's going to get a lot more complicated in red states in the next couple of years.
Oh, it's gonna be it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might make it illegal to change your name, period.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
They're so shitty.
It's freedom!
Yeah, freedom. They sure love their freedom. Those Nazis. Nazis sure love freedom. They do.
That's the one thing they're known for.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got disappointing requests. But I say this, do a vibe check on yourself. Make sure your name reflects who you are. And and take it as like
And don't
part
be
of the
afraid
stuff.
to change it. Just
Right.
try things on. That's the right way to do it. Like, and we've said this before too, but this is another scenario where support groups really help, because you can go into a support group and like they'll do your intros and like, hey, I'm trying on a new name today, and you try it, and everyone will call you by that name, and like trans people don't fuck that shit up, so they'll get it all right.
I wouldn't go making those promises. Like,
well, I'm just saying as a general rule. Like,
yeah,
it's like
they're gonna try.
They make
They're gonna
the extra
honor
effort
that. Yeah.
in the support groups, and so like that's it's a safe place where you can go and just try a name on, and if it feels wrong or it feels right, like if it feels right, then great. If it feels wrong, it's like, well, I mean, back to the drawing board. But like that's where you get to know, because like doing that and like navigating the real world, it's like, oh, I decide I'm gonna be, today I'm Elaine, like, and it's like, and like, well, then you have to tell people, everyone you see, oh, call me Elaine today, and it's awkward and it's weird, and it's just like, and it doesn't, and then it takes long, because how many people do you run into that call you by your name, like, in a day, like, it's like people usually, and so that's the other risk too. It's like you'll burn people out, your loved ones out, if you keep changing your name on them. And like, I demand that you call me, today you'll call me Beatrice. And then,
no trans person ever said I demand anything. Which is what makes it always funny when there are these arguments and they're just like, they misgender you and just like, oh, it's actually she, thank you. And they're just like, oh, making me demand that I live my life in accordance to. She's like, I just politely asked you to show the bare minimum of respect.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like,
fair enough.
Yeah, you're not going to demand.
Sorry for being hyperbolic.
You don't have to demand anything from your parents. You'll ask them, and if they do, they will. And if they don't, you can start making plans to not talk to your parents anymore.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you do it too often to them, that's a good way to burn people out on like ally shit. Like, it's like, yeah, in a perfect world, people should just respect you. That's just not always how it works. And you want to hold your ground, but you don't want to like be actively putting up barriers to people who are trying to be supportive, like, and so just, I'm just saying, watch that sort of thing. Be careful with that. Like, that's just a thing. That's another thing to consider. So yeah, you can change your name. You don't have to stick with one name, but know that every time you change your name, it's gonna trigger some eye rolls in the outer edges of your circle.
In the cis world.
Yeah.
But I would say, man, go for a middle name. Go for 2 middle names. Go for 3 middle names. Do it. Catholics have like all, like you have like your baptism name, and you have your saint name, and you have, go for all that shit. Go for it.
Name yourself after all video game characters.
Oh man. Okay, Zelda Mario.
I do actually know a trans girl named Linka Hyrule.
Hi, I'm Zelda Far Cry 2.
Yeah. Peach Crash Bandicoot here.
Question. It's not a really question. Like most of these are not really questions. I am transitioning, and my family is conflicted with that idea. They are saying that I am selfish for what I'm doing and that I don't take their feelings into account. In which other way does it affect them? Oh my God.
I puke on your family.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. You couldn't wait.
The puke came.
You couldn't wait. It's just like, it's got to come out. Yeah.
Go on with this absolute garbage. I'm sorry. Your question's valid. Your parents are fucking pieces of shit.
In which other way does it affect them, except that they will feel awkward because what other people will say and how other people will interact with them? I know that a trans person in many ways is at a disadvantage for transitioning, and that transitioning doesn't necessarily mean happy life for a person who does it. But why does family think that their satisfaction should be placed first in this case? Is it that I'm doing something out of their comfort zone because they already have many insecurities themselves? They want me to go back, but if I am to do that, I would definitely be not just miserable, but who knows if I would be able to endure it at all. Am I hurting them? How? That's the question there. Am I hurting them?
actually,
How? Because you do not go back. Like
yeah,
know
no,
that,
and you
Tucker.
know
Yeah.
that, okay, like we got to get the preliminary stuff out of the way, which is like it's they don't get a say in this shit.
Yeah.
It's like no, like it's like anyone that takes the position that you're being selfish for transitioning is in fact the definition of selfish.
Yeah,
That
they
is
want you to be
literally what
miserable for their comfort.
for their
That's the
comfort. Yeah,
definition
like
of
it's like
selfish.
that's the absolute definition of selfish. So like no one that transition is selfish. It's not about being selfish. Like, but so just getting that out of the way as a blanket statement, because that should just at this point that should just be the baseline.
Yeah.
Like it's like, but we do have to say it in case you just tuned in or you're not super familiar with trans culture, which is like, but like or just etiquette, which or let's narrow it down a little and say just basic human decency.
Yeah.
But no, like transitioning is not being selfish. But to elaborate, like as the question asker went on, they did ask a few relatively poignant questions, being like, well, how does this? It doesn't hurt them, but it does affect them. So in answer to that question is how does it hurt them? It doesn't. They're being bitches. They're being shitty people. It doesn't hurt them at all. Does it affect them? Yes, it does. Absolutely, it does. It does affect those around you. And that's the thing is like it is arguably, it's definitely a big deal. There's nothing small about transitioning. It affects every single aspect of your life, and it ripples out, and it affects everyone that knows you. And it really does. It's a big, it's if not the biggest deal, it might actually be the biggest deal. Like it's hard to think. I'm hard pressed to think of something that has more impact than that. It's huge. It's huge, and it does affect them, and it affects them like in some in the same negative ways that it's going to affect you. Like, and that's not that it's a negative thing, but like people react to it negatively, and so you have to deal with that. And that happens with them too, because like, you know, if they run in social circles that are like, you know, they're clearly, you know, I don't know. I don't want to bag on them too hard, even though they're the grossest.
Well, I think it's like, you know, anything you're talking about isn't that you're doing it to them. It's that, you know, other people are going to interact with them differently, whether that's their friend group or their church group. And I think really what it's saying is that your parents would actually rather have you be miserable than to tell the people at their church or their friend group that they love you and they want what's best for you. Like, and that's really what it is. There's like a cowardice to it. It's a cowardice that, you know, trans people overcome, and you have to be fearless to transition. You have to be able to take those steps, and other people aren't like that. And we talk about this a lot of time on the other things. They're like, America at large could learn a lot of things for trans people about being happy and living your best life and doing what's best for you and supporting other people and things like that. And they refuse to do that. So, yeah, I would say when it comes to your parents, like what they're talking about is they don't want to have those conversations. They're afraid of having those conversations. And it's easier for you. And it's always easier just to tell your kid to shut up or your kid not to do something than it is to confront your friend group or have, you know, you don't say if they're in a church group, but that's, you know, that's another one where you're going to hear from it is those church people.
I don't know. It's hard for me to separate my frustration with this because like,
yeah,
it's like a transition. First of all, like deciding to transition is different. Like you're already trans. It's like that's what you don't get to decide. And so transitioning is like treating a disorder. Like the thing is like when you're trans, and this is kind of taboo to say, like it's not like it, but like it is a disorder with the endocrine system where your body produces the wrong kinds of hormones, and it does have severe physical and emotional consequences for having the wrong shit flowing through you. It feels bad, and you're out of sync, and you don't feel right when your hormones are wrong. All of you's wrong, and like, and it's a thing that needs medicine to fix. Like, and you take the medicine and you feel better, and like in so many ways. Like, and so people don't understand that, and a lot of people that are ignorant about like what being transgender even is, or like or don't like know much about it and only hear what like the garbage that like that gets spewed on the news, like is like they think it's like you just decided one day and you're doing it for kicks.
Right.
And like, and that's just the furthest thing from the truth. Like I've never met, well, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but like, I mean, I can't, I can say point blank in my case, it's like I'm not happy that I'm trans. Like I'm happy that I feel better and that I've transitioned. But if I could choose to not have had to deal with any of this in the first place, I absolutely would. Like it's like that's not a thing. Like all transitioning is treating a disorder, and like and it fixes it, and it fixes it really well. Like, but then society gets all shitty about it, and then people like your parents say things like, well, you're a bad person. Like no one gets mad at someone that has diabetes for taking insulin, but they get really mad at a trans person for taking hormones. And it's just but it's the same thing. Like it's the same principle. Like and it's like, well, like oh wow, like I can't believe my son has cancer and they have to take chemo. It's so embarrassing. Like why don't you just not have cancer? Why did you decide to have cancer? Like now I have to
now I got to explain to my boss why I got to miss work for your surgery.
Yeah, why my son takes chemo. It's so embarrassing. Like, why did you do this to me? Like, it's like, fuck you. It's gross.
So basically, like, why your parents don't want to do this is when you're transitioning, like you've thought about this, you are taking this on, that everything that's involved with this, that how society's going to react, that, you're going to go through these changes, but you've also realized that you cannot live the other way. And so you've taken this on. Your family has not decided to take that on.
Yeah.
But again,
point,
like you mentioned, like when other family members go through, like I don't like forget like you used cancer. What about someone who has alcoholic or drug problems? Like you don't like, well, you made those choices and I'm sick of having to explain to my church why you have alcohol problems or something. And it's not even like that.
Some people
like,
do that, but
some people do, but not idea parents. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the thing is you've decided to take this on and they haven't. And what we always say, you can't control how they react. You don't get to say what they want to do. If they want to act that way, then they get to act that way. And you'll find trans people who will be part of your community, who will support you, who will want you to be as amazing as you are. And so that sucks to hear. I mean, no one wants to lose their family, but as someone who's went through that, it's just like it is what it is, and it's easy to say that now. It's tough to say that. It's tough to go through that.
I would also say don't give up on them just yet. Yeah. Like it sounds like this is a relatively new thing. And Lilith brought up a great point that like I would like to reiterate, like and even more from like the because unfortunately, like the onus does kind of fall on us to like take the high road with this shit. And like, and it's not fair. And it's like, it's not like we don't have enough on our plates, but now we also have to do this. But it is just the way it is for now. But it's getting better. But the reality of it is what I think Lilith's touched on a point that I hadn't really thought of, which is like you've known about this. Like no one just decides to wake up one morning and it's like, I think I'm trans, I'm going to transition. And like without having ever thought about it before. Yeah. But you've thought about it your whole life in all likelihood, or like, cause some people don't figure it out till later, but like, even still, it's always kind of been there. Something's been there. You've known something was up, but like you might have not pinpointed it, but like you've spent your whole life tossing this around, and when you finally do decide to come out, and then even the next step, actually start HRT and actually transition, like that's something that came with a lifetime of consideration, of thinking, of research, of all these things. And your parents and the people that you tell, it's the first time they've heard of it, and they have not had that time that you've had to process it, to consider it, to think about it, because they just assumed that you were the gender that you were presenting as. And so it's there's a huge shock value there that family and friends get hit with. And so, like, another thing to consider is that, like, yeah, like, it's hard because, like, it sadly and unfortunately, like, the onus is on us to, like, have to, like, be big about it and explain all this stuff. And, like, we're already, like, emotionally handicapped and, like, and compromised by all of this, and it's such a difficult thing to do. It's hard to come out as anything, but, like, it's especially hard to come out as trans, and, like, because it's the one that gets treated the worst by society, and, like, and it's just and it's just so difficult. And so you've got all this burden. You're already probably been crying, you're a mess, like, you're confused, you're scared, like, and here's these people that are just like, well, I just heard this news and I think you're being selfish. And it's like, give me a break. It's like, I don't understand how people can be that obtuse, but they are. And, like, the thing is, it's like it might feel shitty to have to, like, take the high road and, like, be like, well, now I have to, like, explain to them why it's not selfish and, like, all this stuff, and convince them that I'm not a bad person for, like, doing this thing that's absolutely necessary for my own well-being and survival. Like, but you kind of got to do that if you want a relationship, like, and but you do have the option to not have a relationship. And, like, quite frankly, if your relationship with your parents or your family is already strained as it is, it might be easier just to, like, blow the whole fucking thing up. And, like, and I know that sounds like it's extreme, or like it's like bad advice, but, like, the reality of it is like, it's like like, family is really hard for us. And unless you get really lucky, like, the whole thing can be a struggle, and it's not our fault. It's not your fault. Like, that is their fault. They're the ones that are doing it. It's not you. Like, and so, like, you have, all trans people have to make a choice at, like, no matter what, like, no matter how supportive they are, but they have to make a choice, and they have to figure out what the line in the sand is of what they're willing to tolerate and what they're not.
Right.
And, like, and you have to figure out what that line is, and you have to kind of stick with it.
Yeah.
Like, and you gotta stand your ground, because you can't let people that don't understand and that are, like, ignorant, and then a lot of times willfully ignorant or even hateful, like, around you. You can't let toxicity in your life on that level. And, like, you're in a very vulnerable point in time. You need to be with people that, like, are supportive and that love you. And unfortunately for transgender people, you just don't always find that with family.
Yeah.
Even though that's the place it's supposed to come from unconditionally. And, like, that's just not a luxury that we always get. And I hate that that's the way, but it is the way. And, like, you have to take care of yourself, and that it's not selfish. It's not selfish.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100% agree. And yeah, I would say, obviously give them some space, but how they want to react and how they want to decide is up to them. And you have to do what's best for your happiness. And you're right. Starting your hormones and transitioning isn't a guarantee for success or a guarantee for happiness, But I would say
Oh,
most
it's so
people,
scary because you
it
don't
is scary,
know.
but most people
Most people love
get
it.
some satisfaction of it. And then there are people who don't, but a lot of people who don't, it's because of societal stuff. And if having that relationship with your family turns out to be more important than transition for you, then that's the decision you'll make when you make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you can cover them glitches that we had. The power went out over here, so like it was weird. It went zip zap.
We had some technical issues.
With some technical
Look at all that
difficulties.
snow. The snow fucked up the internet.
Yeah, I should really go out there and salt.
Yeah, salt the trees.
Salt the trees.
Salt the trees like God did to Lot's wife.
Or I could just move inside the house and stop doing this outside like this.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? This is the kind of girl I am.
You're a mountaineer.
Yeah, right? Out here with my corncob pipe and my shotgun. That'll be it. That's what I was
looking for the White Walkers.
Me at peak transition is just smoking my corncob pipe, growing my tomato plants, making bread.
Being a right wildling, aren't you?
I am what I am.
We prefer the term free folk.
The free folk. That's what we should start calling trans people.
Trans people are the free folk?
The free folk. Yeah. Oh, you're just jealous because we're the free folk.
Yeah.
We bend our knee to no king or orange
really
goblin.
Like that,
yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Start thinking about a mug with that on it.
I'm gonna start thinking about that. I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna plant some seeds. Yeah. In the communities and see how that jives. Because I'm feeling that.
Well, I'm going to start right now by thanking all the free folk who joined us on this episode.
Thanks for joining us, free folk.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I love you, and I hope that
we provide you. No masters.
No gods, no masters. I hope we provide you some comfort and support, and that you find this is helpful. I hope you have as much fun listening to it as we have creating it, and I hope that when your Troomy comes and you're super focused, that you carry that focus into your day-to-day life.
Exactly.
Because we're pulling it. Thank you for joining us.
We love you. Probably she should take 4. She took 2.
No. It specifically says here, suggested use for optimal effectiveness. Take 1 to 2 gummies up to 3 times daily. I've been taking 2 a day. Sometimes I'll take a second pair. I have not taken third time. I assume I'll see through time. I'd be so focused that I would just like see through time and space.
This focus is This focus is it's amazing to see.
It's focused. I mean, yeah. I feel like I am focused, but I'm focused wherever my focus is taken. So I'm not laser focused on one thing. I'm a laser that you can point at anything,
You're
and
very
I'll be
distracted focus.
Yeah, I'll be looking up bandicoots. I'll be coming up with new names for trans people that sound more badass. Thank you, free folk, for joining us. I'm Melissa Zarling. She's Amanda Bonanza. Ted Cruz can suck a dick. And thank you for joining us. We love you both. We love you all. The both of us love you all.
I love the both of you listening right now. Bye, everyone.
Bye.